Hey, what's happening YouTube? Rod J here. Thanks for swinging by to check out another video. I actually started a new segment of my channel today. This is actually going to be Value Beer Wednesdays. A while back I had done some value beers, trying to find some lower cost beers that might put some dollars in your pocket, and decided maybe to do that once a week. So today I'm actually going to start this out with the Still Reserve 211. This actually is a beer that comes in at 8.1%. And I believe a can of this, for what I have paid, somewhere around, let's say around $1.29, $1.39, somewhere along those lines. So, not expecting a lot out of this beer, but for someone that might want to get their little bit of a swerve on, so to speak, this might be one to take a look at 8.1 ABV. That's definitely going to have a kick for a 24-ounce can here. They do note the 211 mark, based on the medieval symbol for steel, appears only on Still Reserve High Gravity Lager. We use nearly twice the ingredients of many normal lagers and brew for over twice as long as many quality beers. So it is a malt liquor, extra malted barley and select hops for extra gravity. Go ahead and get this baby open and get it into a glass. As far as the glassware usually recommended for this one, you have your standard shaker glass you can use. What I'm going to use is actually a lager glass you can use. And of course, for something like this, the good old paper bag is also something that's eligible. This is probably one that is a fan of the people on the street, because it is a low-cost beer and it gives them a little kick. So we go ahead and get that into the glass, and actually, surprisingly, it pours out a nice two-finger head. So nothing really wrong with that, at least from the outset. The head itself is actually pretty much a white head. As far as it, there's not really as much of a rockiness. It's more of like a kind of a fluffiness or something to the head. There's maybe a little bit of creaminess. Well, it's starting to break up a little bit in there, but a little bit of rockiness, I guess you can say. As far as the look on that, you got nice clarity. You do see the carbonation is real lively on this one, so you got all the bubble action taking place. Get it to the light, and it actually has that nice lager color for what you usually expect. So on appearance wise, it's not too bad of a looking beer. The head itself is now down to one finger head, so we know the head's not going to hold for that much longer. Let's go ahead and get an aroma. Well, malt liquor, you get a lot of malts that come out of the glass, but it's not actually overly bad. It's better than what I would consider some of the other value beers I've had. It doesn't really have that sour type smell as much. It's actually kind of a neutral nose to the nose. I mean, it's not anything really great, but it's not anything really bad. It's kind of a balanced type malt smell there. You kind of get some of the adjuncts, I believe, that are coming out there, but you know, for your cheap American type lager, seems to be right on par as far as the taste. It does have a little bit of a sweetness in the taste. They might be using some corn in there as the adjunct. It doesn't really have too much of a bitterness. Seems to be okay in that regard. Looking on the can here for any of the ingredients, don't really see it on here. There is a kind of a staleness in the aftertaste a little bit, but there's really not any astringency there. Now the second sip, I do get some bitterness on the tongue up front. So depending on the size of your gulp, I believe, will determine that bitterness. So initial taste going in, expect to have a little bit of bitterness there. There's no IBUs actually listed, but you're usually not going to find one for a beer like this. But then once you get it in there, it goes down. I think it's not as bad on the back end as some of the other ones that are out there. I'm just trying to place that aftertaste where it's almost like a popcornish type taste that you're having in the back of your throat when you're drinking this one, which definitely tells me corn is an adjunct. Yeah, it's kind of a little bit of a sweetness with it, and then that kind of that popcorn aftertaste kicks in. But as far as the lager and the texture surprisingly is pretty smooth. It's smoother than some of the other ones I've had along the lines of, say, the Ice House Edge or Natty Daddy, things along those lines, Genesee Ice. This one actually is a little bit smoother of a taste on the back end. Overall, I'm going to say it's actually surprisingly not as bad as I thought it would be. So you get a 24-ounce can of this at 8.1%. You get a couple of these bad boys, you should be doing all right, getting the engine running for sure. For me, as far as when I'm going to rate this one out there, it's going for what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to give you that quick buzz, that taste, and it does it in a package that is not overly bad, that you can actually sit there and kind of do it, and you get it for a low price. Like I said, it was like $1.29 or something around there. So I'm going to actually give this one a rating of, I think I'm going to give this one a C. I think it's going to be a C rating. I think it's not something that I would want to drink a lot of, but in a pinch, if I wanted something to just chug down real quick, like I said, get the engine going, this one can kind of fit the bill to do that. So I'm going to give it a C on the rating. As far as some of the other ratings that are out there, Untappd has an average rating of 1.96 on this one. Rate Beer actually has an overall of an 8, but an 82 for style. So it seems like a lot of the people thought it was okay for style, but overall did not like it. The funny thing is, you look at Beer Advocate, and it actually has a 59 score for awful, which you think is a bad score, but when you put it in perspective, I think Budweiser was in the 40s. I think Natty Daddy was around high 40s, and I think Ice House Edge was around mid to high 50s. So actually, against all the other ones that are kind of your value beers, it actually plays as well. And surprisingly, or maybe not, the Bros actually have it as an 83 for good. So they actually saw something in it as well. And an 83 for good is kind of more in their B- type range. So I think a C definitely is perfect for what this beer may do. Like I said, you're not going out there to try to get a big craft beer bang out of this one. You want something quick, knock it out, get the party started, get it off jumping. This is going to be your beer to do that. So that's the Still Reserve 211. If you've had this one before, let me know. Put some comments in the comment section. Love to hear your feedback on it as well. I know there's some other YouTube videos out there with this one, but you take it as what it is. It's a value beer. You get it for a few bucks, and it gets you going. So with that, I appreciate you swinging by to check out another video. I'm going to go ahead and say cheers. Hopefully to see you on the next one. When the next couple of videos, I'll actually be back to talk about some more craft beers. I'm looking forward to trying out some of the ones that I have now, and hopefully share some good information on that front as well. But as always, appreciate you swinging by to check out the video. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please make sure to subscribe if you want to stay up to speed on other videos. And if you like what you saw, as always, please make sure hit that like button. Cheers. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. And I would say keep drinking good craft beer, but there are times when you don't drink good craft beer. Cheers.